welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha and Spice. Today, we are about to have a full conversation with the girls and the boys. We want to look at youthful relationships. A lot of us are dating. We don't even know. We just feel that, oh, we are in love with this guy and this girl, so we want to date that person. But we end up complicating issues and having situations in our life that we could have prevented. Today, we want to look at how you and I can make sure that we are actually in the right kind of relationships. I'm Martha and Spice. Let's go for a break. When we are back, we start the conversation. Do stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Reflection Show with me, Martha and Spice. I'm super excited. I really don't know why. Maybe because of the topic that we are about to have a conversation with. You out there or you at home can also join the conversation. Just think about it. We want to look at youthful relationships. I'm here with Sally, Latifa, and Abdul Razak. I almost said Abdul Latifa. And we want to look at youthful relationships. Today you're in the hot seat. Because I'm not just the host, I'm part of the guest today. And unfortunately, you are the only guy amongst us. So I'll start with you. Why do you break our hearts?
To begin with, it's unfair to say we break your heart.
Okay. Some of you.
It's the opposite of. It's the opposite of the situation we are in.
Okay.
Because you look at the whole setup of relationships in schools, universities, you have young people against matured girls. Though you're in the same class with the person, she is not your class.
That's true.
And should you even engage in any relationship with her, you know you're not going far. Especially for Muslim women who you might be dating before you know her flyers out there trending. That's the worst heartbreak you can have.
From experience?
No.
Okay.
And then you have from the other side too, you are dating somebody and she finds somebody who is paying more. Obviously, there's no way she will trail behind you. She would obviously leave you. So it's unfair to say men break the hearts of women all the time. It's a two-way thing. It happens. Of course, men do that, but I feel women, when they do it to you, it touches more
than the opposite.
Yes.
Sally, we've seen ourselves as young people growing up in relationships, etc. What are some of the mistakes we think we are making?
For me personally, I think sometimes we look at the fact that we have friends who are in like lavish relationships, or also want to be in those kind of relationships. For example, like if I'm dating Abdulrazak and then Latifa is dating maybe Muhammad, then Abdulrazak takes very good care of me, right? And Muhammad doesn't take good care of
her.
And that's where the problem starts. Then I feel very envious. And you see, that kind of thing is normal. Like, I begin to feel like, okay, my boyfriend can do this for me, but he's not, this lady boyfriend is not doing this, or those kind of stuff. Yeah. So sometimes comparison.
That's the key word, comparison.
We compare our relationships with other people's relationships, which is not supposed to be so. You are who you are, I am who I am. I might start the race before you. It doesn't mean that I will continue to be in the lead. Definitely, maybe you can come and overtake.
Yeah.
So I think comparison and peer pressure is
one of the issues affecting our relationship these days.
Exactly. So that's what I think, from my opinion. That's what I think.
Great. Latifa.
Okay, apart from peer pressure and then comparison, like she said, family too is a factor. Sometimes, especially down here in the north, immediately you turn 20, 21, 22, 25, they see you as an old woman. Like, why are you still eating your father's house? Like, you should go and get married.
That's for the woman.
Yes. And when they want you to get married, they kind of have the specific kind of person they want you to go out and date. You see, there are some homes, a lady will take a guy home to visit the parents. And then after the guy is gone, they'll be asking questions like, where does he work? What does
first
he have?
thing,
Which
yeah.
family is he from? You know, instead of asking questions like, how does he treat you? What are the values you share with him? They don't tend to ask such questions. All they are interested in is he has the money. He can, he can get to organize a lavish wedding, a wedding of a century that people will continue to talk about. That's all they talk about. So for me, I think family even comes first than friends. Because with the friends, you might have 2 or 3 friends, and it's not all of them who will be having a great marriage or men who will be able to take care of them. But if you are coming from a family who really take material things to be something that is worth for them, I mean, they'll push you into something at the end of the day you regret for the whole of your life.
Let me come to Razak on this. Do you also get that pressure from family to get married?
I'm not there yet. And my family, it's a bit conservative when it comes to marriage. So with the guys, they are relaxed. And with the economic situations we are in at the moment, it's usually not appropriate for someone who is just out of school to get married. But I've had situations in my family where the family wouldn't hesitate to sponsor a wedding for a guy. Oh, yeah. And for me, it's not a bad idea, given that the person is interested in
Yeah,
getting married to
yeah.
the person. Because it turns out the guy completed school, is doing NAPCO, would not be able to raise the 100,000 cedis necessary for a wedding. But with the help of family, you can raise
Marriage
it
is
up
as expensive as the 100.
very
Yeah.
expensive
Very
Especially
expensive.
with Islamic
with
weddings.
Islamic weddings.
They are like,
Even with the Christian weddings, of course,
And-
definitely.
but usually the Christians' weddings are better because
Not these days.
in Islamic,
I'll
you
come
have
back.
the
We'll get
lady.
into weddings and the pressure on that. I want him to land on this point.
Yes. So my problem mostly is with the ladies. That's what happens in the family. They will call you. In Islam, you're not supposed to be forced to marry. Or when your dad calls you and sits you down, and it's sort of cajoling you into accepting what he wants to do for you. He explains every reason why Abdurazak must be the groom. And he's psyching your mind towards it. And we have this attitude of not rejecting what our parents tell us. And so you just give in. So it's not forced marriage, but it's more of persuasion and mental games on you. And then you land into a marriage with somebody. And as much as they would want, they'll leave you that dating space for you to get to know yourselves.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like let's say 80 out of 100,
Yeah.
you would end up marrying the person. And that's a very big problem in our communities. People end up marrying people they have no affection for.
And sometimes people just want to marry per the family. They feel that, oh, this family and that family. Just now, let me zoom into that. I know ladies, we are interested in that. Weddings. Are we preparing ourselves for weddings, or we are preparing ourselves for marriage? Latifa.
I would say with the generation we have now, about 80% of us prepare for the weddings, not marriage. And it's just the simple fact because our parents don't really sit us down to talk to us about what marriage entails. All they just do is, you are of age, you have to marry. You're of age, you have, even at the day in which you are getting married, in Islamic weddings, so if you come to the Dagomba setting, that day they are going to take you to your husband's house. There's a part of the ceremony where you go in front of the elderly in your house, the elderly women in your house, and then you come and squat before them, then they'll start to advise you. And in that advice, all they tell you is be submissive. We know that. Respect your husband. If he's angry, be patient. But there are other things like finances, how you should be able to help your husband, how if your husband is going the wrong way, how you should also know. Those things are not taught to us. So all we are always looking at is, I changed 10 times on Saturday, I changed 20 times on Sunday. Hey, my Duyibu Chin and my necklace was like 10,000 Ghana cedis. Hey, did you see my shoes? Those are the things we think about. When you enter, you are with the person, and the person is abusing you, nobody hears about it. And because you were so happy to, get married, you feel like, if I should go back to my friend to tell him, this man who, spent all those monies on me is maltreating me, you feel that, oh, it's not a good thing for me. So you'll be in it and you'll be enduring it. Even your parents will not get to know that that's what you are going through. So I think our generation now, 80% of us look at weddings other than marriage. We don't even know what marriage is.
It's a key word. When she says that, she means that we don't understand the perspective of marriage.
Not
We
at
think
all.
that it's just about having a man, and I
You
think
have
the only
kids.
thing we fantasize about is cuddling in the night. We do what we have to do. I think that's just the only thing we know about the marriage
Right.
And
thing.
this lace is
Wow.
out, buy it
Yeah.
for me.
You
This
dress
motto is
together,
out.
couple goals.
That's
Sally, are we just preparing for the wedding or the marriage?
Well, I think as a young lady or as a young man, you should psych your mind that you are preparing for the marriage. Look, marriage doesn't end at the wedding ground. Like at the, maybe let's take the church wedding for example. Sunday, like Saturday after the exchanging of the vows and everything, everybody will disperse and go to their homes. Now it's you and I. It's between you and I. We are now in the house. How are we going to cope to live with each other? Can I adjust with you? Can I compromise with certain things? No, those are some of the things like ladies sometimes we as the youth of these days, this is our generation, we don't think about. My mom will tell you that it is not about wearing the gown on Saturday, going to the church and all that, and like showing that your gown was the most expensive gown in the whole of Tamale. But the thing is, are you ready? Can you cope with your husband? Because someone told, my mom once said that when love fades away in the marriage, what next?
What next?
What next if the love fades away? Because there are days, she said there are days that you wake up in the morning, you don't feel like speaking to your husband. I mean, everything concerning him annoys you. You really get pissed and angry.
You're like, why did I even marry this man in the first place?
Seeing his face in the morning cry makes you feel like, what I mean, what was I thinking?
Space.
I mean, what am I doing with you? I need space, I need this. But you need to think about all these things, especially when children start coming. How will you cope? How will you manage? Because now the love will be divided. Part for the kids, part for you, the woman. So if you're a woman who is very jealous, you end up having problems with your children because you feel like your husband gives more of the love to you.
To the kids. I think we see these funny videos on TikTok and on Instagram and Facebook where a couple might be trying to kiss or hug and the
The
baby
child
will crying and all of that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't even, if it's like somebody who doesn't understand marriage, they will tend to spend more attention with their kids and leave the spouse. Meanwhile, the spouse also needs some attention. From the male perspective of the Razak, how do you see marriage?
I would want to respond to the other question about getting prepared for the wedding and not just the marriage. For me, I have this sort of weird perspective, and I don't know if my family would accept, but I wouldn't want. I don't like the idea of a big program on my wedding.
It depends on the woman you are marrying to.
Yes, the families. It
Yeah, so he'll come to that.
The two families that are getting involved. I'll just want something simple, something beyond the pageantry that will be displayed on
Simple
videos.
is relative. Somebody want to have a wedding at the yacht,
And it's
like
simple for the person.
on the yacht.
Well, you know how we do it. Once you see the family, you are done. So I'd want something simple where the two people can meet together and then we can go beyond that to build our lives. Because sometimes the investments we make on even that one day would lead to after wedding problems. As everyone here was saying, that you finish the wedding and you get back and you realize that now I'm in deep shit. Because you have invested so much money, 100,000 cedis in a wedding. You come back and there's nothing to feed at home. Why wouldn't you have issues? So we look at all these big programs we hold only to end up in huge debts after the marriage. So we need to look at that perspective as well.
So how do men see marriage? Just do you see it as we see it? Because it usually looks like the wedding is for the woman.
Yes.
shown more.
The wedding, the Muslim man, but then these days they've changed it.
Oh, yeah.
They are changing it. Initially, my uncle had a wedding, and just the groom was changing. He was seated somewhere, having random discussions with his peers. Would wear one kaftan. The groom would wear one kaftan. Afterwards, he brought the bride home. But then my cousin, who is like of our generation, getting married, and then he had to change just like the woman was also changing.
Yeah, and his friends who actually dress in the same color of clothes and they'll go there, take pictures, dance, and
I think that's the order of the day now.
So it's changing the whole marriage game. as to
Then
how
I
it
think
was
in a way
done
Christian
before
marriages are better
and
because
how-
it's just a wedding gown you wear. Then maybe you just wear one for the reception. That's if you have a reception.
I think-
Some two would probably fit in their reception dress in their wedding gown. So as soon as you are done with the wedding, you remove all that flowery thing and you are able to do your reception. Because I've seen some actually change up to 20 times
Oh yeah, more than that.
for Muslim weddings. Yes,
Yeah, more
it's
than that.
possible.
up to 20 times.
it's
And I'm
possible.
like, the stress alone. So, but men, not some of you are now doing that,
Yeah,
changing.
and it's not their fault, but it's pressure. My cousin didn't even want to dance. He didn't even want to come out, but you had to. If you don't, the setup has been made. You have two
Yeah.
chairs. Why are you absent?
Mostly it's the friends.
Why are you absent? So we also need to look at how society is evolving and affecting the general view of marriage. If we're able to work on it, that you don't need a huge wedding to sustain a long relationship in the long run. There's one thing I would want to mention with regards to what you said. In the African setting, marriage is not a union of two people. It's a union of families.
Okay.
And our generation is somehow trying to make it a union of two people so that when you have an issue, you easily
Yeah.
draw out. But I feel that the situation where it was a union of two families kept marriages longer
Okay.
together. So this explanation goes to prevent broken homes, which are preventable. I'm not saying that women or men should remain in relationships that are violent. No. I'm just saying that sometimes
Certain
the
things that can
childish
be,
issues that comes out of relationships can easily
be solved.
be
Yeah.
solved when you perceive marriage as a union of families and not just you and your husband.
Okay. So now I want to ask a very direct question, and I want us to take our time. But before then, we talk about people having lavish weddings, and we always say, how can we make it better? How can we stop it? But people who actually sit down and have those conversations actually do lavish weddings.
Yeah.
From the female perspective, why would you want a lavish wedding?
Well, for me personally, every time I sit with my friends, I'm like, okay, when I'm going to marry, I want to have a very beautiful, lavish, like a wedding in a garden.
Hey,
wow, a nice decoration and that with the glasses and everything on it. Oh Jesus! Then I'm like, wow. I mean, I've been attending friends' weddings,
Yeah.
right? Having a lavish wedding, I don't see any. If you have the funds,
yes.
you have the money to do it. I literally don't see anything wrong with having a lavish wedding. The problem is when you don't have the money, then you go and borrow to do it, and at the end of, because I know some people who borrowed, did their weddings. Right now they can't even enter the market because they are owing people. You have to pay back. But for me, if I have the money and my husband to be has the money, of course, why not? I will do it because it's a memorable thing. One day, I will sit down, take the videos, and I'll tell I'll tell my kids that this is the wedding your dad and we had. It was very beautiful. At that moment, this was the kind of wedding that was trending. Do you understand? That is if the money is there. But if the money is not there, just do something small. And it also depends on the husband. If my husband doesn't want a lavish wedding, then I want a lavish wedding. I think we can come into a negotiation. Okay, fine. If you don't want us to have a lavish wedding, then give me a very beautiful honeymoon, of course.
Hey.
Yes. Take me
And
to...
I would choose that over a lavish wedding.
Yeah.
Yes. Buy me the car. Buy me the car.
Take me
like
to
that
England.
man...
Take
Thank
me
you.
somewhere.
Oh, England, yeah. It will come later. But let's travel around the world. Because the money we were supposed to use for the wedding, that is what we manage. Like, we cut down costs. So that money, use it and do something. Or better still, open a business for me. I can... Yeah.
So these are the options you give to your partner.
Yes, I will
in
give
return
this.
for
But
a
if
lavish.
he wants a lavish wedding, who am I? Who am
You may say, "Who am
I?
I?"
Oh,
The whom am I question, you look
Am
at it
I?
this way.
No, but you can still find a way to talk to him, because if I wouldn't want a lavish one. For me, I think when I was younger, we all had those fantasies. But right now, I think I even kept on my status that public proposal I don't want.
At all.
Just tell me alone. Don't even let my friends be there that you want to marry me. Let me make that decision and we take it one step at a time. Because I don't know whether because of maybe the things I do or what, I don't want certain things about me to be in the public domain.
yeah.
You do a public proposal, by the time you know social media is everywhere, and you begin to open up your relationship to eyes, good and evil eyes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the perspective I am coming from. Also, because when you have a private relationship, you're able to correct certain things. You're able to minimize third parties. You're able to minimize someone, for example, girls, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a lavish proposal, and I'm like, okay, I want to do a wedding here. My friend can be like, you pa, this wedding gown 2,000 cedis. Check this 5,000 cedis wedding gown. Meanwhile, the person telling you that it's not going to give you shishin
Yeah.
to add up to that wedding. So at the end of the day, why is that it's like we listen to our friends, and sometimes we are like, oh, my friend recommended this, my friend recommended that, but the friend who is recommending is not adding you anything to pay for. And for women, the easiest thing people usually want to recommend are wedding gowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the shoes.
Wedding gowns. Let's go for a break. I hear a lot of us saying that if people are doing lavish weddings, me, I want a sample wedding, but sometimes they themselves do the lavish weddings. Or probably, like Sally said, they get to a point in their lives and they have a circle of friends who are able to support them. I know a group of friends that if one of them is getting married, the groom doesn't buy his own suit. They contribute, buy suits. They all wear the same suit and they buy a special suit for the group. If you have friends like that, that's okay. You can have friends who can be wedding planners and they want to give you their services for free.
Yeah.
You have friends, maybe if you have 10 friends or 20 friends who have cars, they alone will do the convoy for you. You don't even have to go and borrow an extra car for the convoy. So that alone even make the wedding seem big. Meanwhile, they have not even spent much. Or you have friends who have money. They'll give you 1,000 cedis, $100, $2,000 as their contributions to support your wedding. If you're someone like me, whose friends are still now growing, who do not have enough money, not that they don't want to give you, but they themselves, they are still trying to put their lives in order. Don't come and give you even hundreds of these thousands of this for your wedding. They want to do that. It doesn't mean they are bad friends, but it just means that you are all still trying to build your life and build your career. Cut your coat according to your size. If you have a partner, maybe if you're man, you can sponsor, even without one can take me around the world. Come and buy cameras for me to do reflection show. Come and buy things for me, pay my TV airtime for me, use that money to invest in me. It's not just about in my church. Luckily for us, you can just go to the pastor's office. He will bless you. You are out. You are married.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. You don't even have to even cook.
That's so nice.
You just, if you want to wear wedding gown, no problem. If you
your
want to
choice.
wear wedding gown, just even if you want to wear t-shirts and go,
And
you
jeans.
wear and go. As far as you have gone through the mandatory 3 months counseling, as far as you have done your traditional what's the name,
Knocking.
Yeah, the
everything,
engagements, yes,
like
yes.
all your traditional rights, and you want to get married, that's not a problem. We even do weddings on Sundays. As soon as it's Sunday ceremony, get up, he blesses you, you are married, you are gone. It's not just the wedding gown that you might not even wear again till you die. So I want to just encourage, especially with the ladies, like Sally said, we copy, we compare. Or maybe Martha had a wedding and she had this and that and that. Maybe you are not Martha. I think even at the Women Rights Conference, I was sharing certain examples that sometimes from where I sit, I get certain privileges for free or at a half discount. So on a normal day, I won't use my money to buy certain things. But if you look at me and you feel that because I'm wearing this or I'm wearing that, you don't even know where I get my clothes from. I can't remember the last time I entered a boutique. I go to Bend Down Boutique and I do serious selection. You know, I'm saying this for young people to understand that you don't have to break the bank to look good.
Sure.
So if you see your friend dressing, me, I know my friend, we have some squad. We don't enter boutique.
No.
But the things we wear, you would think that we've gone to boutique because we have someone who gives us that kind of supply. So please, if they are watching this episode today, understand that do not compare yourself to other people, not even for the weddings. Like Sally said, you have a boyfriend who might take care of you financially, and because like I mean your friend doesn't have that, your friend is feeling like the boyfriend is not responsible. No, What can we do better to sustain these kind of relationships, Razak?
Like which kind?
Like relationships where we are dating people, and because they can't meet up to our, let me say, financial expectations, we feel that they are not the people.
Well, first and foremost, we need to check how we were socialized.
Okay.
Not everybody is brought up to look up to money. So that's a very something important we need to look at. And you know, we have classes of people around. So depending on the family you were brought up in and what you are aiming at or who you are aiming to marry. So somebody goes to university and goes to meet a young lady he would like. But before he even takes a step, he's thinking about what his family would say. She's thinking about what the family would say. Is he up to my class? Before they even begin the dating. And we don't even know the future. So as young people growing up, we need to reevaluate how we were socialized into society and get to know that as much as finances are important, you never know where somebody might end up. Some people start relationships or marriage in a one bedroom. In 20 years, they have mansions, not just one. So you need to look to the future. That's why in selecting who you want to marry, you need to look at the person's vision. A lot of my friends these days I discuss with who are nerds tell me that, Charlie, I don't want this just to marry a woman because she's busty. I want to marry somebody because she can read. She has a vision. She has the brains. Somebody who looks to the future. Somebody you can collaborate with. There's one very important thing. If you are married and you lie next to somebody who is visionary, somebody you can turn to and ask, oh, this is happening in my business. Can you help out? You are peaceful. Other than you relying on other people, going out and find other people. So it's time we get the right people in our relationship. People who are visionary, people who can support us when we are down. That will change the perspective of you have to be financially set before you get into marriage. You can be financially set and in 2 years you don't have the money again. What becomes of you?
That's true.
So the vision is very important. A brainy person, somebody who can walk with you when you are even in your lowest point, is the best person to be with.
Do you guys usually look out for some things? You started talking about something. Guys have different perspective. Not everybody wants a woman who is visionary. Some want a woman with the hips, the woman with the things, the woman with the flat tummy, the woman with the hands. Some of them are around here as well. They have
A woman who can cook.
the one who as for that one,
That one
yeah,
is-
yes.
it's very-
But I'm talking about the
it's a
physical looks. They want a certain body.
Coca-Cola
So we
shape.
those who are slim, it's only an eye like this.
Oh.
It's tough because they want certain kind of
Features.
certain features. Why are some guys like that?
I don't blame them because
It's nice.
to
It's
begin
nice
with,
to see.
when you become an adolescent, you obviously have a feeling for that. In class 5, when we're in class 5, my army teacher did a polling about which girls the boys prefer, and it turned out that all the girls with the flat chests, the boys didn't mention their names. So it's not surprising that as we grow up, and
Like in class 5.
Class 5.
yes,
And your teacher did a poll.
a polling, not with my class, with a different class. He was
yes.
just deliberately asking them that, who do you want? And the kind of names they were shouting, like silent. no,
Because
not-
the girl had that.
Yes.
Class
And
5.
then-
How did I look at class 5? Imagine me now in class 5.
And you know, that's the point we start studying about adolescent changes.
Okay.
So it's normal from class 2 onwards, they were playing Papa and Mama. So you obviously knew what is
Wow.
nice and what is
Yeah,
not
sure.
nice. So do you blame them?
No.
Nope.
Not that name, mama.
So I don't blame guys who tend to go out for looks. Just that you know that when you are
No, but
after-
it's okay. We no ball. If they come back to their senses, it's we they marry.
Oh,
So
no,
we no ball.
but you are somebody's taste too.
You really?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of very huge people, let's say fat people, would always complain. But then there are some short men, that's their preference, and they have the confidence to go in
Yes, I
for.
see those
for-
guys. You see somebody who is very.
His wife is a giant and he's like
That's his
he's small.
preference.
He said short men and some people boy in the studio. Please, he didn't mention your name. We've not mentioned anybody's name behind the scenes. Please, I beg you. The one behind this camera.
I was talking to a lady, and I asked. She was asking about my beard. Now, why hadn't I shaved it then? And I was like, oh, but then you girls say you like it.
beard, yeah.
And she was like, of course we do. Why should I date an emoji?
Wow.
And
So the beardless guys are called emojis now.
I was like, wow. Like,
No,
Wow.
yes, but we like the beard.
Wow.
Who doesn't have a beard is issue.
It's not every lady that likes it.
Yeah.
No,
Same as it is not every lady that likes a man who is built up like six packs and all.
Yeah.
That thing, it puts me off. Like I don't like guys.
You don't
like
like
that.
to see.
You want guys who are like
No, I just
plump.
want a normal guy. Like not you've not just
Try
a normal
to-
guy. You're just okay.
Some will overdo it. They'll even
And they
now
look-
look ugly.
It's bad.
not easy.
Just for
Just
the
a normal
girls.
guy. You are okay, but like that is it's preference. It's preference. It's what everybody and what they prefer, right? Sometimes too, I wanted to even say something. You know, sometimes I've realized that this married thing, sometimes parents contribute a lot to the decisions we make. You have a mother, every wedding she's always there. Every marriage she's there.
auntie.
Auntie, whatever. They are there. So when her daughter is about to get married, and you say, "Oh, me, I just want a simple like a court, or you just go to
They'll be like,
your
no,
pastor."
I'm
So
going to
all
disgrace
the
you.
money, you can't disgrace me. So all the time I spent, I spent
The money I spent.
buying things, gifts for people. You've not seen that.
So they are
What
doing
am-
like an investment so that if their daughters send,
Exactly.
they can get those
I
gifts.
know some parents that are like that. As I'm speaking to you, just like that. Like she wants her daughter to go to wear the wedding gown. The girl also said, "No, I don't want to go to church and marry. I just want something small." She said, "No. You are the reason why I've been buying clothes for everyone who is getting married. So you want to do something small so that they will not bring us gifts, eh?" So sometimes our parents,
They
they
thank
contribute.
God my mom is not like that.
Sometimes our parents contribute to 90% of the problems that we the youth.
Faith and relationship.
90% of it comes from our parents. Because sometimes if you have a parent who is say we are mommy and papa bia like
That's
say no we are seeing now no bia and like those kind of things like
I like the switch. She wanted to express it to me.
Yeah.
like some parents
Oh,
they'll make you
Kanichi,
some parents they'll make you uncomfortable. I'm making sure say like now open life into a person the banso ya like what din was society into a person on so ne bebe ya de no so you know bia mbo ni din wo like area mo when you say hey as me see ba na obeye wedding pa na me say ni say na me say
So that's actually what. But
Exactly.
you see, that's one. We've looked at the comparison for friends. We've looked at mothers, or let me say parents, but the mothers are usually most. But sometimes we ourselves, do we sit down to really know who we are?
That's the question.
Do we know ourselves? Do we know, like, and I was saying, it's growth. When we're growing up, because of the things we saw, we're not mature. We also wanted those kind of weddings. We don't know what goes into it. But now, I would prefer a simple wedding. As simple as my production guys crowd don't know that I'm getting married. But you see, there's some people that, of course, they might be aware. There's something that I don't do, and I don't know why. Some have a problem with me because of that. When you share your wedding invitation with me, I don't think it's my duty to put on Facebook or WhatsApp status, because I feel like maybe it's me you've invited,
Yeah, not the rest of them.
not the rest of other people. So I hardly really put up people's wedding invitations on my WhatsApp or even on social media, because I feel that when it's my turn to get married, I'll just send to you. I will add it, do not share on social media until probably I'm ready to share. Because sometimes you hear someone say, hey, as soon as you be worried and I want country, maybe the person is now sending the invites and it hasn't got to me. I've sent to Razak, I've not sent to you. But because Razak has already put on his status, you feel that I've not invited you. And I see a lot of misunderstanding and petty grudges rising because of that. And I don't think that inviting you for my wedding or not actually or you invite me for a wedding actually show whether I actually love you as a friend or not. Maybe I might just want 100 people for my wedding. Because when you come for my wedding, there's no way I will say I won't give you snacks or I won't feed you. But maybe my budget can only feed 100 people. So I and my husband had to sit down to look at the 100 people that we should invite. It doesn't mean we have a God with it. It just means that we cannot give you snacks and food when you come. So if you don't get an invite for my wedding, know that maybe Mr. Kano, I'm so sad about so maybe that's why. So I think that sometimes if we know ourselves, we understand ourselves, we understand what we are made of, we'll be able to know that certain kinds of weddings are not for us. For example, some people are getting married. They can't afford certain kinds of wedding gowns. You can get up to, I think, something on Facebook. I don't want to mention names because they're not sponsoring and stuff.
Yeah.
You see some bridal listing on Facebook. I have seen a 600 cedis wedding gown that looks nicer to me than even 1,200 cedis wedding gown. And these that you can't even sew. So why should I go and wear a 5,000 wedding gown because Sally wore one? And there's sometimes too, what I feel is that we don't have the same body type. But I'll be like, since Latifa wore this gown,
I must wear the same gown.
but me, I hardly wear fitting stuff because I know that I don't have that shape to wear the things. So I wear my bowler trousers, I wear my bowler skirts, and I'm good to go. And we go and make that wrong mistakes in that aspect. Men, do you know yourselves? I almost assume you say action.
No.
We are missing a very big point here. Social media and what it's doing to us. Like the likes of Kenzie, weddings that trend. And these days...
No, but they can afford it.
They are very rich people.
They can afford it.
Razak,
but then
I'm coming.
that's what
She's working. The husband is working. The husband recently last year it's a lawyer.
Yeah.
The husband is a lawyer. The father of the husband is dusted. The friends, people who might just want to come to the wedding just to show the father that when you had something good in your house, I was there to get favors. They might not even spend even up to 10,000 on their own wedding because the gifts they will get in return
would cater for that.
But you and I, that our friends will come for our wedding, they're waiting for the jollof. They'll say the jollof crowd, there's no pepper. Even the chicken, they even say one chicken. These are the kind of people that we are having in our setting. Not so. I think that if we say that we are not being fair, how can somebody strap you and I, for example? My father used to tell me that when we were going to school, they used to walk. Even the sneakers I'm wearing, if they had it at their time, they'll leave it for Christmas Day to wear it. But I'm wearing it on a normal day. Things are evolving.
Yeah.
Me, if my child, I give birth and I can buy a car purposely to take my children to school, I'll buy. It doesn't mean I'm spoiling them. But because of the privileges I've enjoyed. So it is really unfair for poor people to tell rich people how to spend their money.
Yeah.
Because despite he's a billionaire.
And he's at that level. His son is getting married. How many cars that he himself have? Charlie.
They have an association of I call it Billionaires Club, not the Nigerian movie one.
East Legon.
Yes. You think that if any
also.
of them said that my son is getting, all of them don't bring their cars to do convoy.
Of course
They won't rent cars for convoy. So for we poor people to sit down and tell people like him not to have
A
lavish wedding for his son, we are not being fair to that man. We are not being fair because all of us, not you personally, all of us talking or watching and having issues with that is because we are not despite son. If we are despite son, we would have even had lavish wedding than the one that he had. So sometimes it's only because we are not in that position. We feel that there was this Adam guy too. I think he's in Kumasi. I forgot his name.
Is it a
Jones Bond's wedding? People were talking about it.
We are relating it too far. Even in Tamale here, just last the lady with the.
I don't want to mention names on that, but I'm just let's look a bit far. People have their money and people plan.
Maybe they took years to plan.
So if I have money now and I say that's okay, I'm saving money for my wedding. and I also meet the guy who is also having money, and I'm saving money for, you can't come and tell me that
You have a lavish wedding. I
should
worked
use,
for it.
I worked for it. So that one is better. But let's look at Joe's Born and Kenzie, and at that level, that kind of wedding, and we will sit and just use 1 minute data and type and say that they are doing lavish wedding. Do look, a simple wedding doesn't guarantee the success of the marriage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A simple wedding does not guarantee the success of the marriage. Somebody can have a lavish wedding and their marriage will last longer than your own. So some of us who are simple should not have big wedding and those kind of things. I agree, but we're talking about those who cannot afford, though, that are going to borrow money to do big weddings
Big
and will not be
weddings.
paying debt. We are those we are talking about on this show, but not people like just Pie to have the money. Well, they even have their own drinks. They
Yeah,
even have
special
their
drinks,
own
special drinks.
water. They have their own businesses.
Salt.
They have their own salt. Even for the food they use and cook for the wedding, don't go and buy salt.
Yeah.
The water they use for the wedding, don't go
Don't
and buy water.
Yeah, imagine somebody with business partners abroad. I mean, you just say
What
my
do you
son is
expect?
getting married and
So
checks signed
please,
all over.
me that I've always had a personal issue with people who actually complain about them, because I feel that it's not fair. Because me, if I get money, I'll do more than that. Let's go for a break. Welcome back. We are looking at how we can marry properly and why most of us are usually all over the place. Youthful relationships. I think 1 hour is not even enough to discuss everything we actually want to say, but just to maybe a tip on the iceberg, we just end up looking at how we sometimes judge people wrongly without not knowing where they got their money from. Work hard and get that money, and also want to take your wife or your spouse for a honeymoon abroad. But the focus is that if you can't afford it, don't force yourself. Don't go and borrow. There are people that I've heard about, and after their wedding, they're like, oh, especially church offerings. They'll be like, one city the unquano the mommy. How much were you expecting? If you are planning your
This
wedding,
is so funny.
plan based on the money you have. Don't plan in expectations. If not, you get one city. It's even because it even cancelled points in the system. Like you'd have even gotten
Yeah.
points. Sally, you have to give us your final words.
Okay, so the little I can say is that I'm not married. Yeah. But what I can tell my friends and the viewers and the listeners wherever they are is that please don't look at what someone is doing to get yourself there, but rather work hard with patience and perseverance. Like you can get whatever you want. Work hard. Don't compare yourself to people. Don't have high expectations from people. Do what you think you can do to get you where you want to be.
Yeah.
If you want to have a lavish wedding in the future, start planning for that wedding now. Don't wait until the man comes.
Yeah.
You yourself, you can start
saving.
start saving money. You know that this is the wedding gown you want. Start saving money towards that wedding gown, so that when you get the man and the man says that I can't afford to get this wedding gown, then you tell him that I saved money to buy this wedding gown because this is what I want to wear. For me personally, that's what I think. Do some little savings. 100 cedis a month, 50 cedis, even 10 cedis a month can get you your dream wedding
Do
gown.
you think that the wedding gown is the responsibility of the man?
For me personally, I don't think so. If I have the money to buy the wedding gown, I will not
I
expect
think
my
every
husband.
couple is different.
Yes.
You can plan on
For
what-
personally-
but for the right price, yeah, it's your
Is
responsibility.
the
I won't argue
responsibility of
with-
the man to pay my bride price and to
Yes.
provide everything needed for the tradition.
Yeah, for the tradition.
But my wedding gown,
You're
if
right,
I have
yeah,
the
the
money
money,
to buy
yeah.
the wedding gown, I'll buy it. I won't impose it on my husband to buy it for me. I also have to contribute. I have to bring something to the table. Come on, I can't allow my husband to do everything for me.
Wife material, 100 years.
10,000.
1 million.
10,000. 10,000.
Latifa, yeah,
That's
your
a little
final,
I can say. Save money towards what you want for your wedding.
So you don't
wait
put
and
pressure.
expect- don't put pressure on your
And I think it's one thing I will do for a different time, a different episode, and look at wedding plans and prepare. I think we done an episode on finances, what to say before. There's some of the questions to ask, love and finance, before you say that I do. But I want us to actually look at later on. We'll look at before you get married. Should a man take care of everything? It should be a conversation. That's it for your final words.
Well, okay. I think I would like to tell the youth out there, be it female or male, like he said, things are evolving. The world is going on a faster pace. And things that used to be absurd or weird, like some 7 years back, are like perfectly normal now. So everybody, don't say that it's married that I wait to be emotionally, psychologically, financially, or physically fit before I get married. No. Even with relationships. You see, that's what I like about the whites. I was discussing with Miss Martha here the other day that, see these whites, immediately you see somebody, of course, it's the features that you like that will draw you to the person. But behind those features, what is there? Is it the features you watch every day? So what is there is what will draw you to fall in love with the person, to want to have a future with the person. So these are the things as youth we should look at. If we want to have the marriages our mothers, our uncles, our forefathers had, those are the things we should look at. You see, those days, even though technology and money was not an issue, but you see a woman accompanying her husband to the farm. When she comes, she also has a small garden that she has, planted these vegetables. So after the man giving maize, her own is to cook the soup. The man doesn't contribute to it. But now you see as ladies, even some their parents take them to school, educated, and they act in a way that will make men belittled, and I'm very high hit. Like your parents paid huge sums of money to take you to school. Then you are out, you are working, and you don't have a way to contribute to the success of your husband or your children. What kind of future do you want your kids to have? Everything go to your father. Everything go to your father. We should have a generation whereby we women can also surprise our husbands.
Yeah.
Just like we want a man to take us on a good honeymoon. Your husband should be awake and come back and you've prepared a surprise.
That's
something
true.
that will move him to think that, wow, this is a gem I've really married. We should be innovative. We should be independent. Don't wait till your husband buys you a car. You can buy yourself a car. You can treat yourself to a vacation. These are things why, they are the reasons why our parents took us to school. They are the reasons why we are working to become somebody in the future. So don't wait for a man. Be independent. This is not about, how do they call those, feminism.
Please,
no.
we are talking for the men. They are happy. You go ahead.
Yeah, like, it's not about feminism, or it's not about, all I'm trying to say is, let your parents look at you and be proud.
Yeah.
Let your child, even if you are no more, and you see your mother, the child will see their mother's picture on the one, it's like, this is a great woman. This is a woman who did this for me. This is how I can contribute to what my mother has. This is, how do they call it, a legend? Or my mother is a legend. Create a name. Not being on social media. I'm not saying those things are bad. They are good. But don't let that be your future. Don't let that be your story. Apart from that, who have you inspired? Apart from that, who have you empowered? So we should stop playing and be
Today
serious.
she's Latifa inspires.
Yes. I'm learning from her. I'm learning from the best. So, be ready, psychological, emotional, physical, financially, be ready, a male or a female, before you can even think about proposing to somebody's daughter or son. Like she said, know yourself.
Yeah.
Be aware of your weaknesses, your strengths. See, those are the things they pray on. If I'm a lady and I know you, the guy, this are your and you don't know it, I'll pray on them. No matter how good woman I am, I'll pray on them.
Yeah.
So if the guy still knows him, he will pray on them.
Yeah.
So make sure you know them, you know a way to fix them, so that when he comes, he compliments you as a person, not to come and then do everything for you. So I think that's about it.
Wow. I'm inspired. And
I'm
the men are happy. Razak, your final words.
Before I continue, I must commend her for such an inspiring
Yay.
presentation.
You
Because
guys are making
these
my
are the
head
kind of
swell.
these are the kind of thoughts we want to hear from women.
Okay.
The modern day woman, someone who complements
I like that.
a man.
Compliments the
A
man.
man, because you can't do everything on your own. And as youth, we have moved the conversation to marriage, but then let's look at beginning our relationships. We should aspire to have relationship. You look at the strengths and positives of your father's and mother's relationship. Your father and your mother are married. There are some things you see you are not happy about. You should learn from the positives and then avoid the negatives. And there are so many people you can look up to when you read their stories. I always like to talk about books. I like when people read. When you read about the likes of Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, how they started off.
Yeah.
And
very
Michelle
inspiring.
Michelle says that when Obama picked her in his car, she could see the road as they were
Yeah.
moving.
I think I've heard
And these are little beginnings. And from a young lawyer, someone who wasn't known, to the president of the United States of America. And their story is so inspiring that at a point in time, Michelle had to stop what she's doing to attend to the kids so that her husband can grow. And so she says she had to cut her career short and then fit into something that could help both of them get to where they are. So as young people, we need to understand the dynamics of relationships. There's no one formula to it. As you move on, you learn. If you feel that, nah, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way, no. There are two people coming together. We always have to compromise.
We always have to come. Dear future husband, please, I owe you a car. I owe you a house. I owe you many, many holidays. And of course, I owe you countless days and nights of prayer to boost you to grow and to become great. If you are jealous, that's your wangada. It's been an amazing session. It's been an amazing month, the month of love, bringing you back to back great content this month. Next month is Ghana month. We don't know what we actually want to do a lot, but we believe that whatever content that will be bringing you will be for you and I to stay strong, to stay healthy, for us to all know that this country is for us. You need to fall in love, yes, but fall in love the right way. And one thing I want to remind us is that in as much as you are falling in love this season, some of you, they will tell you I love you. Some of you will get proposed to this month. It might not be real. It might just be for the season because the butterflies are flying here and there.
And because they are free condoms.
Oh my goodness. Please do not forget to get to know your blood group and your genotype. Get to know your sickling status. Last year, sadly, I had some friends who had to fall apart because just when they wanted to get married, they realized that they were not compatible, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart because they are both amazing people, and I was just imagining how I was going to dance at their wedding, but unfortunately it didn't come on. So please and please and please and please make sure that you get to test your genotype, whether you are AA, whether you are AS, whatever that you are. Just make sure that you get to know about it at the right time so that you don't end up falling in love. So once you are falling in love, once you are going on the date, once you are doing all of that, make sure that you ask the very relevant questions, because I don't want you to cry because you had to fall in love and see your boyfriend or your girlfriend having to leave, not because there's a quarrel, because of sometimes when I was young, I used to be like, can't they remove all the blood from your system and put in a different kind of blood? But now I know better. I won't ask such questions. My hair makeup is by Indian Beauty Salon here in Tamale. Their contact details are on your screen. I am Master with Spice. I'll be back with thoughts. Hello and welcome to Thoughts from Martha in Spice. As young people, we need to understand that we own ourselves in a certain way. We make the decisions, we make the choices for marriage and relationships. We need to get to the point where we understand that no one has to force us to get married to that person. No one has to get to the point where they have to ask us to do a big wedding when we can't afford it. We need to take our time when it comes to marriage. I'm not married. I wish to be married, yes. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I'm taking my time because of the things I have seen, of the things that I have heard. I don't want to get to the point where I'm making the mistakes my parents have made, my aunties have made, my sisters have made. You and I need to do better. Our fingers are not the same. Your friend might have a rich husband, but might not have a patient husband. Your friend might have a patient husband, but might not have a healthy husband. Your friend might have a healthy husband, but might not have a husband who will help them push their career forward. No matter what you need or what you are asking for, there is that one thing that you have that your friend is looking for. On one of my motivational videos I did on understanding your blessings, I spoke about the fact that everybody and whatever they are asking God for, and you'll be surprised at what you are looking down upon is actually what somebody is on their knees praying and fasting for every single day. Where you are today is where someone wants to be. There are times I'm worried about something, I'm praying, God, this thing is delaying. And I see people who are like, oh, Martha Inspires, I admire you, I wish to be like you. And I'm like, huh? You wish to be like me? Who is asking God for something more because I feel that I shouldn't be at this position. We are blessed and highly favored. We are blessed beyond reasonable doubt. Just know that there are times and seasons for everything and everyone. The person you are admiring might be in their celebration season, might be in their harvest season, you might be in your sowing season. Be careful how you get jealous of people. We've had friends who've married before us, but we've had people that we've also gone ahead of in life. Overtaking is possible in this life. Just relax. Relax. If you are with someone, tell the person that relax. Life, don't be in a hurry. Just relax. Because God will come true for you. Maybe one day I'll interview myself on a reflection show. Then you get to understand that I have been through a journey. So when I said I relax and be patient, you will know that I actually mean you should relax and be patient. Because when God comes through for you, He comes through beautifully. He comes through very well. And He is going to honor you. God will honor you in this season. It's our season and our year at the Matter Inspires Foundation. It's our year of fruitful expansion. And it's my prayer for every one of you, my audience, my mentees, my viewers, that not only would you be fruitful, but you will expand in a bigger and a brighter way. Please be patient. I need you alive. The year just started. 2 months into 2023. We have a lot of months ahead of us. Something good can still happen. Thank you for watching. I am Martha Inspires. Have a good night.